Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start today's session. So, the subject is mechatronics lab. So, for the sixth semester, you have one separate subject as a laboratory for the mechatronics, and this comes under the subject automation. Okay. So, elective subject is automation, and there is one more elective, that is a mechatronics. Okay. So, this elective subject is combined into a single lab, and that is the mechatronics lab. So, mechatronics lab, its course code is MEL 605. So, what are the objectives and outcomes when you learn this subject mechatronics? So, objectives have been defined. The first objective is to study the sensors and the actuators. Then, second objective is to study the control system. Okay, so you have already studied control system in the mechanical measurements and control. Okay, in your fifth semester, and you are aware about sensors and actuators. Okay, so you had a industrial electronic in the fourth semester. Okay, so sensors and actuators, they are related to electronic devices. Okay, and the third objective is to study the automation. So how we can control any process automatically by using a control system and by using sensors and actuators. Okay, so these are the three objectives. And what are the outcomes? So after completing this semester, that is when you study this mechatronics subject, okay, what you should know from this subject. So first outcome is demonstrate the implementation of interfacing sensors and actuators using the microcontroller. Okay, that means you should interface the sensors and actuators with the microcontrollers. So there are different microcontrollers available. So most common microcontroller, it is 8051. Okay, and in the market it is available with the name 89C51. So you must be able to interface any sensor, that is a temperature sensor, pressure sensor, torque sensor, with the microcontroller. Then second outcome, demonstrate the interfacing of various utilities with the microcontroller. So basically utilities are the applications where we can actuate or control some process by taking the signals using some sensors. Okay, so these processes are controlled by using microcontroller. Okay, so basically microcontroller, it is the brain of that process. Then third outcome, demonstrate the discrete control system using PLC microcontroller. So PLC is the programmable logic controller. So basically PLC, it is used for the industrial automation where large processes or complete plant is controlled through PLC or PLC software. Okay. Then fourth outcome is design and develop a control system for specific use. So this is a third and fourth outcome. It depends on the control system. Then fifth, implementation program to PLC system and demonstrate its application. And six is the develop pneumatic circuit for a specific system. So some applications or some processes, they are controlled using hydraulic and pneumatics. So how these hydraulic and pneumatic processes are controlled? So this comes under the sixth outcome, develop pneumatic circuit for specific system. So these are the objectives and outcomes for the mechatronics lab. Now your entire syllabus for the mechatronics lab is divided into three parts, that is group 1, group 2 and group 3. So group 1, it depends on the sensors and the actuators. Group 2, it depends on the control system. And group 3, it depends on the automation. Okay. So for your syllabus, we have 3 experiments from each group. So 3 from group 1, so 3 from group 2, and 3 from group 3. So total, we have 9 experiments for the mechatronics lab. So in your syllabus, in the group 1, total given experiments are 6. Out of that, we can conduct any 3 experiments. So depending upon the setup availability in our lab. So first experiment is theoretical and experimental implementation. So experiment number 1, it is theoretical and experimental implementation of interfacing of a sensors using microcontroller and determination of sensor characteristic such as static characteristic, sensitivity, accuracy, range, and resolution, etc. And the dynamic characteristics like transient response and the frequency response. So basically in the first experiment, we will interface sensor with the microcontroller. Okay. And then we have to check the different characteristics. So interfacing means what? So suppose this is the microcontroller. Let us take this as 8051. Okay. So this 8051, this microcontroller, it is a 40-pin microcontroller. So this is 40-pin microcontroller. Okay. So for 40-pin, it can take the input signal from sensors and it can give the output signal to the actuators. Okay. So sensor, it will give the signal to the microcontroller. Suppose we want to sense the temperature. So this is the temperature sensor. Or let us take this as some distance sensor or ultrasonic sensor. So suppose this is object and this is the sensor. So when object comes near the sensor will generate one signal. So basically this sensor, it will generate a voltage which is nearly equal to the 5 volt. Okay. So this voltage, it is given to the microcontroller pin, one of the pin of the microcontroller. So there are total 40 pins, 20 on the left side, 20 on the right side. So it is connected to the one pin of this microcontroller, and depending on the program which is written on this microcontroller, this microcontroller will give the output to one of the output pin. Okay. Suppose one pin is connected to actuator. Okay. Basically actuator means what? Actuators are the devices that will perform the program work. So actuators may be a motor, that is DC motor, stepper motor, or the servo motor. Or actuators can be hydraulic cylinders or pneumatic cylinders. So there are different actuators. So these are some examples for the actuators: motor, then cylinders, then solenoid valves. Okay. So the microcontroller, it will give the output signal. So again, this output signal, it will be a voltage which is in the range of 3 to 5 volt. Okay. So then it will give this to the actuator or control circuit of the actuator, and then the proper process will be carried out by using that actuator. Okay. So this is called as interfacing. So interfacing means what? we have to connect the sensor to the microcontroller. Then we have to program that microcontroller. Okay. And then that microcontroller will give some output signal. So in the first experiment, we will implement the interfacing of the sensor. So sensors can be pressure sensor, or it can be a temperature sensor. Then it can be a distance sensor. Okay. And after interfacing, we have to check some characteristics. So you have learned these characteristics in measurements and control: sensitivity, accuracy, range, resolution. So these are static characteristics. And for the dynamic characteristics, which depends on the time, so these are transient response and the frequency response. Then second experiment in the group 1 is measurement and calibration of the load or force. So the calibration of load. So calibration means what? Okay, so we were discussing about the second experiment, that is a measurement and the calibration of the load or the force. So calibration means what? We assign the values of one quantity to the other quantity. So in case of pressure or the load, the quantity to be measured, it is actually weight. Okay. So suppose we have one system. Suppose this is a cantilever beam, and we have connected a load cell. So basically load cell is nothing but the force sensor. Okay. So if you apply some weight, suppose it is 1 kg. Okay. And this load cell, it will give some signal which is proportional to the 1 kg. So suppose load cell gives some signal that is a 1 volt. Okay. So the primary signal which is given by the load cell is nothing but the voltage output of the 1 volt. So we have to calibrate this 1 volt to the 1 kg. That means we have to assign the value 1 kg to the 1 volt. Okay. Because software will not identify whether it is 1 volt means 1 kg. So we have to program that microcontroller to which that load cell is connected. Okay. And then we will get the digital output as a 1 kg. So this concept is used for the digital weight balance, where we can directly get the value in terms of digits and the unit will be either kg or gram. So suppose we are conducting one experiment so that we can calibrate this load cell. So load cell, it is the electronic device or the sensor. So output given by the sensor. So this is the sensor output, and corresponding digital output which is required in terms of either kg or gram. Okay. So suppose if you apply the 1 kg load, your sensor is giving, suppose 1 volt is output. So we will assign the value 1 kg. Okay. Suppose for the 2 kg, if you change the weight and you put the second weight, that is 2 kg, and sensor is giving the output as a 2 volt. So 2 volt means 2 kg. So similarly, we will calibrate the different weights. 3 kg is 3 volt. Okay. So finally, we will get one calibration graph from that experiment. Voltage versus the output in kg. So we will expect this graph must be a straight line. That means output given by the sensor in terms of volt, it will be directly proportional to the weight. So this is called as calibration curve. So this is our second experiment where we can calibrate the load or force sensor. So when we calibrate this, we have to put all these values in the program. Okay. And then we have to feed that program to the microcontroller. Then third experiment, it is the measurement and the calibration and comparison of temperature sensor. So it is similar to the second experiment. So only in case of second experiment, we will calibrate the load sensor, and third experiment, we will calibrate the temperature sensor. So there are different temperature sensors, thermocouples, then resistance temperature detector, that is the RTD, and the thermistors. So each temperature sensor has some specific application where we can use either thermocouple or RTD or the thermistors. Okay, and then we will determine the characteristics for the sensors as mentioned in the first experiment, that is static characteristics and the dynamic characteristics. Then in the fourth experiment, it is the interfacing of the stepper motor with the microcontroller, and its programming for the rotational or the XY table. That means we can vary the position on the XY table, okay, and then we can compare the accuracy using some standard linear or angular sensors. So stepper motor interfacing means what? Generally stepper motors, these are used for the CNCs, that is computer numerically controlled machines. So in case of CNC, we have one work table on which we can mount the specimen. Okay, so basically CNC sets some origin for the tool. So suppose this corner is as the origin. So suppose this is x-axis, y-axis, and this is the z-axis. Then we can mount the job at some position, and then tool, it will follow the program path in this XY plane. So this is called as a XY table. Okay. So when we interface this stepper motor, so suppose this is the tool, and this is the lead screw. So lead screw, it can control the horizontal movement of this tool. Okay. So this horizontal movement, it is controlled by using a stepper motor, which is connected to that lead screw. So this is the stepper motor. So this is connected to this tool, and then this stepper motor, it is connected to some microcontroller. Maybe it is 8051 or 89C51. So as per the program, this stepper motor will rotate by some specific angles that is given in the program. Okay, and depending on that, this tool, it will change the position, maybe in the positive x, negative x, positive y, negative y, or in the positive z and negative z. Okay, so for your lab, it is only mentioned that we have to control the motion in the xy plane. So we can move in this direction along the y direction or along the x direction. Okay, so for that we have to control stepper motor by using some microcontroller. So this is the interfacing of stepper motor with the microcontroller and its programming. Then in the fifth experiment, we have interfacing of DC motor with the microcontroller and its programming for characterization of DC motor. That means we can vary the speed of DC motor, and we have to determine its load speed characteristic. Okay, so it is similar to the fourth experiment. So in the fourth experiment, we are interfacing the stepper motor with the microcontroller, and in the fifth experiment we will interface the DC motor. So suppose this is DC motor. So we have to interface this DC motor with the microcontroller, and then we have to check the speed and the load characteristic. Okay, so that means if you increase the speed, what is the load carrying capacity of that DC motor? So definitely if you increase the speed, its load carrying capacity, it will decrease. Okay, so at higher speed it will give the low torque. So we have to find out this speed versus load characteristic. So we can take this speed on the x-axis, and the load, it may be in Newton meter, that is torque, or load will be in the kg, and then we have to plot the graph. So this is the load versus speed characteristic. Okay, so to perform the fifth experiment, you have to make one setup by taking DC motor and the microcontroller, and then we have to connect some mechanism at the output shaft. Okay, so that we can apply the set load. Okay, set load means we have to apply some known torque. Suppose it is 1 Newton meter, then 2 Newton meter, and then for each torque we have to find out the corresponding speed. Okay, so this is our fifth experiment. Then in the last experiment in the group 1, that is experiment number 6, it is interfacing of water heater with the microcontroller and its programming for determination of transient and steady state characteristic. So again, it is similar to the fourth and fifth experiment, only we have to change the device and it will be water heater. Okay, so these are the given experiment in your syllabus. Out of this 6 experiment, we can conduct any 3 experiments. In the group 2, it is a control system. So in the control system, the first experiment, it is experimental demonstration of discrete control system using a PLC microcontroller using standard PLC demo setup. Okay, so in our lab we have bottle filling machine, so it is controlled by using a PLC microcontroller. Okay, so basically PLC microcontroller is not a separate microcontroller, it uses some standard microcontroller, that is a microcontroller of Philips, it may be 8051 or other microcontrollers. Okay, also it uses microcontrollers of Siemens, and it is a combination of different microcontrollers, and it is one complete control setup. So this is called as a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller. So we can conduct the first bottle filling machine. Okay, and we have a water heater. So these 2 experiments we can conduct from this first experiment in the group 2. Then second experiment is system identification of the spring mass damper system for step input. So you know the what is meaning of step input. So this is the part of control system from the measurement and control. Then harmonic input and determination of poles and zeros. So you have already studied what is meaning of pole and zero in the control system. Okay, so poles and zeros, these are used to find out the root locus. So in that, spring mass damper setup with all required position sensor mounted is to be characterized for step input, and it is suggested to determine the transfer function. So we will find out the transfer function from its output, that is output given by the sensors, and then we have to plot the Bode plot. So it is a frequency response. So this is the second experiment. So we can conduct the second experiment in the software. So you can conduct this experiment in the inventor. So because we don't have the physical setup for the second experiment, so we will conduct one virtual experiment in the dynamic simulation. Then third experiment, design and experimental implementation of PID control strategy for spring mass damper damper setup to control precisely the position of the mass. So PID is proportional, integral, and derivative control strategy. So you have studied this already in the control system. What is meaning of PID? Okay, so if you vary the constant for proportional, integral, and the differential or derivative, according to that, the output will vary. Okay, so we have to check the position of the mass, and then we have to adjust these constants: proportional constant, integral constant, and derivative constant. And then we have to control the preset position of the mass in the spring mass damper system. So this is the third experiment. In the fourth experiment, design and experimental implementation of the PID control strategy for DC motor. So it is similar to the third experiment, only we are changing the setup. So in the third experiment, the setup is a spring mass and damper. Okay, and suppose we apply some force, which is F of t. Okay, and this mass will oscillate with some displacement x. So this is a x of t. So basically this response will be a time dependent response. So this is x and this is the t. Suppose there is some initial displacement and then system vibrates. Okay, then as per the input parameter, we have to control this vibration by adjusting these parameters: proportional, integral, and derivative constant. Okay, so this is the third experiment. In the fourth experiment, we have to control the DC motor. So it is a DC motor speed control under varying load condition, and effect of variation of load is to be studied. Okay, so that means we have to control the speed depending on the load variation. So this is the fourth experiment. In the fifth experiment, design and experimental implementation of the PID control strategy for real-time temperature control furnace. So we have this setup in our lab, that is the fifth setup. So it is also depending on the PID. So we will vary some constant values in the software, and then we will check the output temperature for the furnace. Okay. Then last experiment in the group 2 is the modeling and design of control system for quarter car suspension model using any suitable modeling and analysis software. Okay, so we can perform this experiment virtually. So it is specified to perform this in software. Okay, so we can use the Autodesk Inventor, or we can perform this experiment in the ANSYS software. So this is the group 2 section, that is the control system. And the last section, that is the group 3, it is the automation. So in the automation, we have first experiment, real-time logic implementation for traffic control setup. So this is also using PLC. Then second experiment, it is based on the internet. So it is real-time interfacing of sensor. So sensors are prescribed as a temperature, humidity, position level, etc. And actuators like stepper motor, DC motor, and servo motor. So meaning here is we have to take these signals by using these sensors, either temperature sensor, humidity sensor, and position sensor. And depending on the signals given by these sensors, we have to actuate the actuators like stepper motor, DC motor, or the servo motor. Okay. So we have to interface this with the microcontroller, and then by using Ethernet shield and controlling the actuators and monitoring of sensor output remotely using internet. That means we have to control these actuators by using internet connection. Okay, so this is the second experiment. So this is the part of IoT, Internet of Things. Then group 3, third experiment is robotics. So it is real-time demonstration of line following robot using standard robotic kit. Okay, so there are different development boards available. So development board means it is Arduino board or any other board having microcontroller 8051 or Raspberry Pi. Okay, so all these are development boards. So we can conduct this experiment by using standard development board. Then fourth experiment is demonstration and the study of function of different components of the robotic arm. Okay, so this is just a demonstration. That is the fourth experiment. Then fifth experiment is visualization of DH parameters in Robo Analyzer software. So this is a free software which is developed by the IIT Delhi. Okay, so Robo Analyzer, it is a kinematic software. That means by using this software we can control the kinematics. That means rotation and the velocity of different joints. So DH parameter means basically this is the name of the scientist. These are two scientists, Denwitt and Hartenberg. So Denwitt and Hartenberg, they develop one theory. Okay, so this is called as a DH algorithm. Basically it is a DH algorithm, and depending on the DH algorithm, the software is programmed, that is a Robo Analyzer. So basically it is used to control the motion of any robotic arm. So this is the fifth experiment. Again it is a software demonstration. Then sixth experiment, it is the designing sequential operation of two cylinder using electro-hydraulic circuit. And seventh experiment, it is the same sequential operation of the electro-pneumatic circuit. So these two experiment, or probably three experiment from 6, 7 and 8, these are pneumatic and the hydraulic. So there are different industrial processes which are controlled by using pneumatic cylinders. So for example, pick and place operation, then motion of the conveyor belts. Okay, and also some applications where we need more power or more force, they are controlled hydraulically. So this is the part of pneumatic and hydraulic. So this is the group 3 automation. So from all three groups, total 9 experiments will be there for your final examination. So this is the course structure, that is a lab structure. So for your term work, there will be 9 experiments. Okay, so 3 from each group. That means automation, control system, and the sensors and actuators. So your term work marks